After Kofi passed, a lot of things happened as I remember it. On the night that he passed, I remember you trying to go into the room, into the ward to see him.
Yeah.
And I was told to prevent you from going to see
Right.
him. I didn't understand.
Right.
At some point, I tried to go and see him, and I was prevented from going to see him. I think that was the beginning of many things that confused me, things I did not understand. Were you told why you were not supposed to go in to see him?
To be very honest, I wasn't told why the doctors wouldn't want me to go and see my son, who they claim has just passed. But nothing mattered at that moment. He is my son. You tell me something that we've lost him. I'm not allowed to see my son. How am I not allowed to see my son? I don't know where the strength came from, but by the time I realized they were all out of my way, I was really pushing and nobody could stop me. I actually sat by his side for a couple of minutes, and then in the night I'll move back to the waiting area and scream and scream and scream and scream and scream and come back to him. And then Dr. Banka and Abdallah come and hold me.
Because he did look like he was sleeping.
He was sleeping.
In fact, I could have sworn he moved a little bit.
Yeah. And it wasn't even when we went in there was still some sound on the monitor. And I kept saying, there's still a chance. And then I look and realize that there was nothing. It wasn't on his thumb or anything. It was just, and yeah. So I wasn't told why I wasn't allowed to see him. But I kind of think they do that a lot because they are worried some people will not be able to handle. I mean, the shock. I don't know if some people pass out. Some people end up having cardiac arrest.
For a moment.
My brother passed out. Yeah, he did.
Out for a moment.
He did. Yeah.
But so many things happened that confused me, Amma. I think for both of us, for a lot of us, I mean, Amma, you are young and all your friends are young. So Kofi's passing exposed us to a lot of things that we otherwise would not have known until we turned 50 or older.
Right.
A lot of things were happening that left me with more questions, about losing a dear one than answers. And you being the mother made things even more complicated. Last week, I could recall a bunch of things from what you had to wear to what you should not wear, to what time you had to take a bath, to whether or not you could go to the funeral home, to when he was supposed to be laid to rest, to the size of the funeral, to even the nature of the casket or what he could even wear. All those things, I was always very quiet sitting beside you, but I'll go home to my husband. I'm like, Kabute, they're saying she can't do that. What's all this? What's all of this about? What are some of the things that happened that you learned that you think helped you deal with the loss and things that you absolutely would not recommend?
Right. No disrespect to tradition. Tradition will still be there even after I'm not here on earth. But now I think that it's pretty sad that people who didn't know my child or me or what we stood for would have to come and sit and tell us what to do, how to do it, tell me what to do and how to do it. Well, thankfully, my family head, Kenotopa, thank you so much. My family head is not, he of course he believes in tradition, right? I was told first off that I cannot wear black. I cannot wear anything black because what I was told is that I am young. I am more likely to have more kids, and then his younger brother is there. So if I wear black, what it means is that I am saying that I don't want my son to come back to me because I can get pregnant and it will be Kofi coming back. Okay, so I had to wear white. I didn't have a problem with that. That was okay. That was fine. Where I had a problem or where I had to fight was when they said, oh no, you can't go to transitions. You are not supposed to see him. Now I'll tell you what, We lost him on Friday night. They said, Kolebu said, you cannot take him out of here up until Monday. Now, I heard the stories of how somebody spends just like 2-3 hours in Kolebu morgue and they change. No, look, at that point, till now, my son was not dead. I don't know what they were talking about, but I didn't want my son to change. Saturday, Bishop, people had come to the house. I said, Bishop, I want to see my son. Is Kofi okay? When I woke up, that was the first thing I said. Where's Kofi? Is he okay? Is he all right? I need, okay, you guys go and check on him. So Bishop goes Saturday to check up on him and says, Amma, he's sleeping. Monday, my brother, from morning, he's at Kolebu trying to work on this court document and all of that. Finally moves him to transitions in the night. He comes home with pictures. And everybody's saying, no, you can't show her the pictures. You can't. I said, yo, if you don't show me the pictures now, I will lose my mind. I want to see if he's okay. Y'all didn't have a choice. Now you won't believe. After I saw my son, there was this calmness. There was peace. Suddenly, he looked like my baby. And then we arranged to go and see him a couple of days after. Again, you cannot go to the funeral home. What are you talking about? I gave birth to him. I can't go to the funeral home to make sure my baby is okay. To make sure that they don't do anything that would change or distort his looks. That was the most important thing to me. I carried him in my womb for 9 months. You think that I have lost him and you're going to tell me to stay away from him? A child I had when I was 19, my everything, that's not going to happen. And I told my family, and I said, Kennel, I'm sorry, I cannot conform to this tradition. I can't. And he said, you know what? Leave her. Ask her. Rather than we tell her what to do and say, bury him in a week. That was another thing. You cannot keep him past 1 week. What are you talking about?
What was the reason for that?
The reason is that it's like he's your first child and you keep him for long. You are inviting death into your home, your other children. I said, I'm not listening to anything right now. I will not listen to anybody. I am going to sit with Bishop to set a date that Bishop, is available. Why? Because my son was everything church. His last performance in church was New Year for Bishop. He's always on stage during Christmas. You are not going to tell me about some tradition my son did not know about. I am not going to. And fortunately for me, my family head gave an instruction and said, when they go to the morgue to have the last bath, nobody should pour libation around him because he was a Christian child. And that just made me feel so good. And now everything I insisted, thankfully my family understood.